Hey guys, it's Philip from the Honda Resource, and I'm coming back to you with an update video for my heater. So if you watched my video for the heater about a year ago, I got this thing where it would work and make free heat for my shop using waste oil. Here's the changes that I've made since that video, and I'll explain why. Okay, so originally I was using a stainless steel, like a dog pan bowl, whatever, for in here, but it just got so hot that it melted the stainless steel bowl. So I went and got a cast iron skillet, and I just cut the handle off of it with my plasma cutter. Could do that with a cut-off wheel on a grinder or whatnot. Cast iron seems to be holding up well to the heat. It is sitting up on, you can see where the heat has cracked that brick down there. It's just got a little pedestal. But yeah, that cast iron skillet has gotten extremely hot. It is warped along the bottom, but it's working well. It's doing its job. Over the last year, I've added in these tubes. These kind of work like a heat exchanger, and they kind of go all the way through. So what it does is it captures heat that's coming from here, and it captures heat there. And I've got a fan set up back there, you see, and the fan blows that air out of here, and it makes it to where it's just blowing heat out. It works very nice. It works a lot better than just having this as a, the heat source, just the heat radiating out from this. Just a lot of excess heat was going out the exhaust, and it still is. But right now, these 4 tubes work really well. Again, my welding skills is not up to par, but it's not leaking or any of that kind of stuff. But other than that, I really haven't made any modifications to this. I have started using the little caps in this once I get it going. Just sometimes it tries to smoke back up that pipe, that feed pipe. So you can see it gets a little sooty in there, but I mean, I've put a lot of oil through this thing and it's not too bad. On my last video, I've had several people ask me, how do you light it? Or people that have doubted my hair dryer as the blower for this. And I'm happy to report that my same hair dryer is still it's still kicking it. It's still working. But I'll show you how to light it, and also I'll show you the modification that I made to the hair dryer just to control the airspeed a little more. So sometimes I use like a paper towel or whatnot. I just put it down here, turn on the oil, let it get on that first, and you can see my oil bucket is over here. It's full right now. I just filled it back up the other day. Hasn't been cold enough to run it in about a week. So you just turn this main valve on, and then the ball valve is already kind of set to where you can see it's coming out there, the oil, okay? And then in a few seconds, it'll start coming out here, and it'll go onto this rag. You'll start seeing it come out here in a second. Takes it a minute because it has to fill up all this tube coming down. There it comes. So do that, and then I'll use my little map gas. And I just kind of heat the pan, right? And it gets it hot. But also I like using these Duraflame quick starts. I just use a little piece like that. It doesn't take much, just something to get the heat started. I'll put that right there. We'll warm up the pan a little bit, because having the pan warm does help. And we can go ahead and light that too. There we go. And that little brick will keep some heat going in there. See, our pan is slightly unlevel because it's pulling up at the back. This is how I light it though, and it seems to work well. And once I get it going, then I'll turn on the dryer. And it does smoke a little bit until it gets good and hot. Once it gets good and hot though, it burns very clear. You start to see some bubbles in the oil in the back. So it's starting to get some heat in there. Starting to see it cook a little bit. So we know we're getting some heat in there. Once it starts bubbling, it usually don't take it too long. This is not extremely hot. I mean, you see where my hand is, so the canister is good and cool. And then once we kind of get it started like that, then go ahead and turn on the hair dryer. All right, so I just turned on the hair dryer. It's on extremely low right now. I put this dimmer switch in line with it. It just goes in right here and controls how much current goes to the hair dryer. I've got on low setting on that. As you can see how when it forces that air in there, see there is a little bit of smoke that comes out. The door's open. But once you close the door, all the smoke will go up. And it seems like I'm getting a little bit more oil in there than I want. So what I did is I turned the oil off until it burns a little bit of this off, and then I'll turn the oil back on. I mean, the pan's hot because you can see the fire flashing across the oil. So it's getting good and warm. And we should be able to turn the oil back on in a minute once it burns a little bit of that off. I still haven't turned the oil back on yet, and the hair dryer is back off. Okay, so I turned the dryer back on. You see, it's starting to burn off the oil now. There's not a lot in the pool. We'll go ahead and flip that back on. And then let's go out here and look at the smoke. So right now, this is the amount of smoke that's coming out of it. And it's still not good and hot, so it's not vaporizing it. But you can see, for the most part, it's clear. Very little odor. And yeah, makes nice heat inside. Once the pan gets really good and hot, it'll be completely clear. See though, with the door open, oil's still getting down there. It burns it off pretty quick, and there's a lot of heat coming from this. And you can turn on that fan, and it'll blow nice heat through here. It's already radiating some pretty good heat, and I've only had it on about 5 minutes. So that's pretty much a breakdown on the heater and the updates that I've made. I did the adjustable fan speed with the dimmer switch, and then put the tubes in to be able to allow for the heat transfer. Hopefully that helps you guys and shows you how to light it too. It was easier to light when I was using the stainless steel pan because the material was thinner and it would get hot faster, which means that it'll ignite the oil quicker. But the cast iron is holding up tremendously better than the stainless steel did, so I'm just staying there with the cast iron because it does work really well once it's warm. And for anyone asking about how well it heats the shop, my shop is 24 feet by 25 feet. This is the US, so that's the measurements we use. And it is not insulated. As you can see, none of the walls are insulated. It's all metal. And the other day it was about 30 degrees outside, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. If you guys are in other countries, I had my van in the shop, and it has a temp gauge, like a outside air temp. So with it sitting in here with the door closed, it was reading about 65 degrees on the van. So that tells me that the shop was about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, where the outside temp was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think that's pretty substantial, and it made it to where it was a comfortable work environment in my shop. And again, free heat. Only thing it's costing me is a little bit of electricity to run the hair dryer. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Make sure you check out the other video about how I built it if you're interested in that. I will put it at the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.